It's 11 o'clock. It's time to begin. Okay, everybody, let us start by, I would like to announce that I did receive a parcel yesterday from Peter Alexander. A very, very kind parent had a Peter Alexander voucher and she sent it to me because she knew how much I loved Peter Alexander. And so I thought, oh, well, maybe I'll get a new dressing gown. So I got a new dressing gown. Do you like it? It is so fluffy. It's so soft. It's got fleece on all the way on the inside. It's lined with fleece. It's got great big pockets and a big fleecy hood. And here I've even got a Peter Alexander monogram. I wanted to show you that because I'm so proud of it. Plus, I decided also to get a new pajama top. It's got little dachshunds. How charming is that? How charming is that? I'm excited to see you, Amelia, at 3:30. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's begin. The first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to make sure that we have all answered all questions about the vowel generator, because we did that on Friday, and then I realized that on Monday we hadn't corrected it. So I want to spend 5 or 10 minutes just at the beginning going back over the vowel generator. Now, if you did have that piece of paper, take some time now to grab that piece of paper because we're going to go over it. So I'll give you some time to get that because we're going to finish that off today. For those of you who didn't see the vowel generator webinar, what we were doing was we were generating all the 2-letter vowels in English, and so this will still be relevant. Also, you can go back and see the webinar if you missed it, but this will still be relevant. So I'm going to share my screen with you now. Hopefully you've got the vowel generator in front of you, and if you haven't, that's okay, you can recap, but I just want to finish that off now. So here we go. What we did was we took all the vowels in the alphabet and we put them along the top row, and then we put them along the side column, and then we added R, W, and Y, which are the supplementary letters that help us to form all the 2-letter vowels in English. Then we read it like a map, like a grid reference. A plus A, well, that's not a 2-letter vowel in English. That's not a common vowel digraph in English. So you put a cross there. A-E, yes. A-I, yes. A-O, no. A-U, yes. That's the or that you may not use at the end of a word. A-R, yes. In an American accent, that is not a vowel digraph. A digraph is 2 letters, but 1 sound. In American English, Scottish English, where you pronounce R after vowels, that is what's called an R-controlled vowel, but it's still part of this chart because it's still a way of changing a vowel's sound. So AR is a yes, AW, that's the O that you may use at the end of a word, and AY, that's the A you may use at the end of a word. Then we went over this together too. E plus A is E, as in eat your head and it breaks, E-A. Double E, very, very common vowel digraph. EI, not so common, but you do see it in words like receive and so on. EO, that's a no. EU, that's a yes. Europe, eulogy, euphemism. And EU is actually a root meaning pleasant. Yeah, true story. ER, yes, another R-controlled vowel in my accent, and in Australian or English or Welsh, it's the first wicked sister. EW, yep, that's the OU that you may use at the end of a word, and EY is also a yes. A-E, good stuff. Now, here's the bit we didn't do. So let's go through it together. I plus A, yes or no? Who got a yes and who got a no? Because if you got a yes, what I'd like is an example. What I've put on here is no. I plus A does not go together to form a vowel digraph. Sometimes you get I next to A in a word, like Australia, but they're 2 separate syllables. They're not 2 letters going together to make 1 sound. All right, I plus E, yes. Lie and pie and so on. I plus I, no, we don't get double I in English words going together to make 1 sound. I plus O, that's also a no. I plus U, Good heavens, another no. I is not particularly friendly in the first position. So when it's number one next to another vowel, it doesn't really go with many other vowels. It's only going with E so far. Will it go with R? Of course it will. Everything goes with R. That's one of our ways of forming new sounds. IW, that's a no. And IY, well, because they sometimes replace one another, because they're very similar in pronunciation to one another, we don't put them together to form a digraph. So I, got to be the unfriendliest vowel in the world. Let's see how friendly O is. OA, yes or no? Absolutely. The O of boat and goat. OE, yes or no? The O of toe. Very good. OI, yes or no? Oi, it's the oi you may not use at the end of a word. OO, yes or no? Of course, very, very common vowel digraph, double O. Ooh, ooh. Excellent work. It's really friendly, isn't it? Look at how much O goes with. OU, yes or no? That's a great big yes. This is the ow you may not use at the end of a word. All right. OR. Yep, everything goes with R, so we know that's going to be there. OW. Well, that's the ow you may use at the end of a word. It also, quite a lot of the time, represents the sound O, as in flowers grow. OY. That's a yes, like willow. You're absolutely right, willow. Very good. OY, yes, that's the oi you may use at the end of a word. And now look at this. O goes with everything. There is not one cross. O goes with everything. Seems friendly, doesn't it? But here's the big secret. Here's the big reveal. Let's do the U row. You ready? UA, yes or no? That's a no. UA is a no. U and A don't go together to form a vowel digraph in English. UE, yes or no? True, blue, clue, and so on. Usually at the end of a word where the E is stopping the word from ending with a U. UI, yes or no? That's the U of fruit and pursuit. Words that have UI in them usually come from French. Usually come from French. There you go. That's a good old French digraph right there. UO, yes or no? Not this way round. Now, what I want you to do is look at the O row. So everything that starts with O is a yes. Now let's look at the O column. What do you notice? Can you see this? This is a no, all the way down apart from double O. So the thing that you have to understand from looking at this pattern in this way is that O always goes with all the other vowels and all the other vowel digraph letters, but only if it goes first. It's actually, looks friendly, but actually it's a bit passive aggressive. It's a bit bossy in that it never goes second, it never goes last. So if you are trying to spell a word and you know that there's an O digraph there, don't put O last. Never put O last. You won't have spelled it right. So that's what you should know. O, always first. Dun, dun, dun. Isn't that exciting? Spelling is full of patterns like this. O must go first. Let's finish off U. U, yes or no? Does U go with U to form a vowel digraph in English? Nope. We've got words like vacuum, where there are two U's. That's about it. It's not a vowel digraph. If you need a U, don't put two of them. You'll be wrong. All right. UR. Yep, everything goes with R. UW. Well, even the names, they're very similar, U and W, so they don't go together to form a vowel digraph. And UY. Well, there are two very common words, guy, as in he's a nice guy, and buy, as in I'm going to buy something for you. And so I've put yes there, but you can put no. It's actually up to you whether you want to allow that in as common or uncommon. So there you go. That's the vowel generator. Now, do you have any questions on that? If you have any, we can also take them at the end, but that's the vowel generator in full. And the beginning lesson will be up on the diagram, up on the website very soon. I read digraph and said it. In vowel digraph races, O comes first from Noah. Wow, that is a brilliant way to look at it. Absolutely brilliant. Luca, don't spam the chat. Thanks. All right, here we go. Next bit. I've stopped sharing with you, haven't I? Yes, so I will escape out of here. Okay, next bit. Now, yesterday we were counting syllables and determining the strong syllables and the weak syllables. Do you remember doing that? So if we have a word like marvel, right? Here's our cat Marvel. Marvel, zip, two syllables. Where's the strong syllable? Is it marvel or is it marvel? What do you reckon? Marvel or marvel? Yeah, syllable one, right? That's the strong syllable there. Ma. Now, I've got a question for you. You had an assignment yesterday, and that was to look at lots of multi-syllable words and figure out what the strong syllable was. And could you see a pattern? Did you see a pattern within those strong syllables? Did anybody see a pattern? The strong syllable is usually something. It's usually something. Do you want me to give you the answer? Oh, Jamie, that's a really good question. Can R come first with a vowel? You can have the letter R before a vowel in a word, but that will make you pronounce the R and then the vowel. It won't combine to make a new sound and it won't affect the vowel. Does that make sense? So if you have a word like rat, rat, you've got the R first and then the A. That is not a digraph. They are three separate sounds, rat. Whereas if you have the word art, same letters, right? But these two go together now to make one sound. Ah, if you're not American or Scottish like me. But it's even if you are American and Scottish or Scottish, the R will make the A sound different. Art, even if you pronounce this R. Does that answer your question? I certainly hope so, Jamie. All right, thank you. Okay, so back to this. Let's, why does R go with everything? Well, Bridget, it was one of our things that we did. It was one of our techniques of recombining letters to make new sounds. So R goes with everything and so does E. It was one of the things we did, chuck an E on the end, chuck an R on the end. Now you've got 10 new vowels, 10 new ways. Does that make sense? I hope so. But back to this, I'm going to write a word for you. I think the word should be, I know. All right, what word? Everybody read it. It's got 3 syllables. First syllable is a prefix, dis. Next syllable is the base of the word, tract. Last syllable, suffix, ing. The word is distracting. Yep, distracting. Dis means away from. Tract means pull. What has distracting got to do with pulling things away from anything? Distracting. If you're distracting someone, what's that got to do with pulling them? Do you know? If you pull their attention away, you distract them, right? Now, pulling someone's attention away, that's exactly right, Jamie. So we've got 3 syllables. Distract, ing. Where's the strong syllable? 1, 2, 3. Which one is it? Which is the strong syllable? Distracting. Yeah, everybody's agreeing it's number 2. Syllable emphasis, where we put the emphasis on a syllable is usually, we usually put the emphasis, or we make strong, the base, not the prefix, not the suffix. It's usually the base that we make strong in words. Distracting, it's not distracting. Does that make sense? Usually the base is the strong syllable. That's another way to check and figure out the strong syllable. You can hear this vowel really well. Distracting, I can made a very, very strong ah sound. Do you see how that works? So if you look at all the other words that you were trying to figure out the strong syllable for, you'll find that it's not usually the prefix or the suffix that we put all the strength into. It's usually the base. And that makes sense because the base is the thing that carries the meaning. Somebody over here is being very distracting as well. He's big, he's fuzzy, and he's trying to drink Imogen's water right now. Anyway, it's the base word, it's the base part, rather than the prefixes or the suffixes in words that have the emphasis, that are strong. All right, now you've got all that information. This leads us into today's lesson. Let's take a word like, oh, I've got a good one, banana, right? How many syllables in banana? How do you count them? Say it out loud. Banana, zip. How many impulses of your voice came through? I knew you'd get that one, Will. I knew you'd get that one because bananas are our favorite thing, right? 3, not 33, 3. Absolutely. Banana. Okay. Now, first syllable, second syllable, third syllable, where's the strong one? Banana. Sometimes to figure out the strong syllable, because there's not a very clear base in here, unless you know lots about the language. Let's see. If it were syllable number 1, I'm going to do all 3 of them so that you can hear it. If it were syllable number 1, the word would be banana. I'm going to eat a yellow banana. Sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? All right, let's make it syllable 2. Banana. That sounds less weird, doesn't it? Syllable 3, just for fun, banana. I'd like to eat a banana. I don't think we say that. I don't think we say that. I think we go banana. And to really confirm it, you can pretend that you're cross, that you're angry. Banana, give me that banana. Where are you nodding your head and stamping your foot? Right, it's the middle syllable. Okay, now I'm going to write the letters in. First syllable, ba. Next syllable, na. Next syllable, na. What's the vowel in every single syllable? What is the vowel? Yeah, it's the same vowel, isn't it? It's A. The word banana is spelled with 3 A's. Ba, na, na. And if we said it all equal, we'd say ba, na, na, but we don't, do we? What does the vowel sound like in the first syllable? Does it sound like a? Did we say banana? We don't, do we? We go banana. And this, it's almost like we're just going b, like that. This is a weak vowel because it's in a weak syllable. And a lot of the time, a vowel in a weak syllable will sound like this. B, b. This is the strong syllable, so it's not ever going to sound like bana, or in your accent, na, right? It's still a nice strong vowel. And then this syllable, do we say banana, or do we say banana? Banana. Do you see how when you said that sound, for this vowel and this vowel, same letter, right? Weak, strong, weak. Weak vowels here sound like this, and there's a name for that sound. Did you know that all the human speech sounds, even the ones you don't use in your language, have a name and they have a symbol and they represent a sound? Even sounds that we don't have in English, like this one in the International Phonetic Alphabet, means Now, we don't use that in English, but there are some languages that use clicks. And so we had to think of a symbol for that and name that symbol. Yep. Well, it's the same for weak vowels. For weak vowels, when your mouth relaxes, your tongue isn't up or down, your lips are not stretched back or pushed forward, when everything is in neutral gear, there's a name for that weak vowel, and that its name is schwa. Schwa. You might have heard that at school. And this, oh, that's not very clear, is it? Was that very unclear? Could you see that properly on your screen? I need to write that beautifully so that everybody sees it. Schwa has an unusual spelling. Crikey, that's not coming up very clear at all. Anyway, it's schwa. So that sh is SCH. And then schwa. And it has a symbol. I'm going to share my screen with you now because I want you to see the schwa symbol, because you've probably seen it before. You've probably seen it before. Here it is. Seen that? That is schwa. It's like an upside down E. And when you look in a lot of dictionaries, when they show you how to pronounce a word, they often use this upside down E, schwa, now that's its name, in the dictionary to tell you to make a weak vowel sound like banana. So if you looked up banana in the Oxford English Dictionary, for instance, in the pronunciation guide for a word like banana, there will be a schwa in those two weak syllables. How about them apples? That is a true story. That's what schwa is. Why do we even care? What's the point of me telling you all this stuff about schwa? Well, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because we're a stress-timed language, that means we reduce, or we make schwa of most of the vowels in multi-syllable words except the strong syllable. So actually, when you're speaking and you're saying words that have got more than one syllable, most of the vowels come out like schwa. That makes it really hard to spell them because you can't sound them out. You can't sound them out. You have to know what to do when you hear schwa. You have to know what to do. And that's actually a mathematical thing. There's actually a bunch of probable vowels that you would put in when you hear schwa. So what I like elephant, absolutely. It's not elephant, is it? It's elephant. And it's hard because you can't hear it, the vowel. The vowel is only strong in the strong syllable. All the rest of the time, or much of the rest of the time, it's schwa. So you need to know this thing exists. You need to know this thing exists, and you need to know what to do when you hear it. Does that make sense? So that's our introduction to schwa. There's lots more that we can do on this concept of schwa, but now you know. Now you know. And I think it's probably Edie that's saying, I've not learned anything like this at my school, and I'm in year 6. I'm so very grateful for these. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. Look, here's the thing. Teachers don't get trained in very much language structure. So when they go and do their degree at Teachers College, ooh, he's drinking from your cup. At Teachers College, they don't get this teaching. So teachers don't know it either. And then they don't teach that at school, and then nobody knows it. But actually, when you're teaching spelling, you are teaching the structure of language, and you need to know about the structure of language so that you can tell your students what it's all for. It's much easier to figure out spelling patterns if you know why they're there, and that's to do with the structure of language. So, yes, we'll get to numbers, Jamie, I haven't forgotten. So, there's 2 things I want to tell you before we go to questions and to our number. We're on 4 today, aren't we? Yeah. There's 2 things I want to tell you. Firstly, all of these webinars will remain free. I'm never going to charge for these. Okay, they're not going to go behind a paywall or ever be free. This is a service to parents and students during this worldwide crisis. So, and I think even afterwards, I might put one on now and again, just a free one for students. But one of the ways that I do make money and earn an income is that I train teachers. If you want your teachers to learn about this, you should tell them that they should do the training. So we have a writing workshop coming up, which is online, and we have an online spelling workshop that's available now, where they can learn to do this so that they can then teach you more about the structure of language. So tell them. That was my first message. It's all there on my on the homepage of my website, all of the courses. You'll never pay. I'll never charge for any of this. All right, now, I know nobody's learned about Schwa because teachers don't know it because they're not taught it. So then they have to do the training. But it's not that hard, is it? It's not that hard. And we'll do more Schwa stuff soon. On to the number 4. It's really, 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 really difficult to remember. So I'm going to go with a little story of one of my best students ever. And I'm not going to tell you who they are, but they will remain private. But this student is one of the most talented, intelligent, gifted children I've ever worked with. Plus, he is also really, really, really nice. One of my favorite people in the whole world. But one of the things that he finds difficult is remembering spelling patterns. And that's the same for lots of people. It took him a long, 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 long time to remember to spell the word our, as in this is our house. It just wasn't going to stick for him. So what we did was he knew how to spell the word you, as in you are my friend. So what we would do is we would get you, and then we would turn you, because that's his stable base. He knew he could spell that. Then to turn you into your, which is just an extension of this base, he knew to put an R on the end. Yep. And then to turn your into our, because they're all pronouns, they're all things that replace nouns and make us think of a noun. You could be your name, your, something that belongs to you, and our, something that belongs to us. These are our webinars. He knew to take the Y off. And that gave him a structure to move towards our. Now, we were very recently looking at the number 4. And 4, even though it sounds like it should be spelt this way, or maybe with an E on the end, and that is the homophone for, meaning forward. What it is actually very similar to the spelling pattern, not to the meaning, but to the spelling pattern of our. So what we did was we put the number 4 into this lesson, and now he has to write sentences and practice you, your, our, for, like that. And it just gave him a chain of things that he could remember. So my job is very much to do with teaching the structure of words, but also figuring out ways that students can remember them. And that's one way, and that's the spelling of 4. Our 4 friends, our 4 cats. Yep, that's how to remember it. We will see you in 4 hours. That's good, you're fast. Excellent work. All right, it's question time. Woo, we've gone really long today. Does anybody have a question? Are you looking, my lovely Imogen, for questions? If you have a question, put your hand up. And yeah, as a teacher, I learned about Schwa when I was doing my Teacher of the Deaf training. You get a lot more linguistics as a teacher of the deaf, a lot more linguistics. My teacher asked me to do these lessons and she is watching too. Hi, teacher. Very cool. I love that. That is brilliant. Jamie says, Lynn, can you please still do these webinars after we're out of lockdown? Yeah, I will. It won't be as regular because I'll be, really, 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 really busy. But we all need, we've got a gang here, right? We've created this gang, and I'll have to check back on you from time to time. I'll miss you. All right. Any other questions? I think we don't have any other questions. I introduced a massive, oh, you're doing it at school, Bridget. That's awesome. I introduced a massive concept here. It was Schwa, and we are going to look at Schwa again. This was just the beginning of Schwa. So the gang needs a name, says Annabelle. Well, oh, that could be our competition, couldn't it? What shall we call this gang? Very good.
We have a question.
You have a question?
Someone, yeah, Mitchell.
Oh, Mitchell and Emily, you're up. Go for it.
Yeah, Amy, go.
I was wondering, have you made a video of the pictures you have had sent in yet?
No, because I've only had a couple. I'm just waiting for more to come in. Unless, of course, Imogen's been receiving them and not sending them to me. You know, she's shaking her head. So I've only got a few, and I want more. I want more. So maybe I'll put out an email to the whole group and say, come on, give me your pictures. How about that?
That would be actually a very good idea.
I think so too. Thank you. Thank you very much. And you can also vote on your favorite name or suggest favorite names, because we got our tigers named that way. And I tell you what, Sergeant Stripes and Snowy, they're really pleased to have those names. Peter Alexander gang. All right, that's a good one. Caitlin, Lily, and Bethany, you're up. Hi.
Oh, wait a minute, stop video. Okay.
Wait,
right.
stop.
Okay.
Brother has two vowels. They sound like schwas.
Yep, can you tell me the word again? I didn't quite catch it.
Brother.
Brother.
Ah, yeah, brother. ER in Australian, New Zealand English at the end of words usually sounds like a schwa, usually sounds like doesn't it? Whereas for my accent, I go brother, and so do American people. But yeah, you've got schwa right there at the end. Not in the first syllable though. If you say brother and go you've got a very strong Don't get that mixed up with which is schwa. They sound very similar, which is why people write you instead of, you know, a weak vowel in a syllable. It's usually not you. But there you go. Does that make sense?
It doesn't sound like brother though. Brother.
It depends on your accent, because there are regions of England where they will go brother. But what we tend to have done in most accents is that O is being pronounced like other, love, above, and that's that v thing again.
That's what it is. Say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll see you soon. Elizabeth, age 5. Ooh, wait. What sound is the E in Beth in my name? Elizabeth. Well, me, I go That's definitely schwa for me. But if you take that last syllable in the word Elizabeth and just shorten your name, Beth, like my mum's called Elizabeth, but she gets called Beth, then it goes back to strong eh. Does that make sense? So if you say Beth, it's eh. If you say Elizabeth, it's because we don't say Elizabeth. We'd sound really weird, wouldn't we? Elizabeth? Come and make your bed. Would sound really weird, wouldn't it? I hope that answers your question. You definitely have a lot of incredible questions. Have you considered doing a linguistics degree? I know you're only 5, but I just want you to put that in the back of your mind. All right. Do you have a hand signal for schwa? There might be one from cued articulation, but I'm rusty on cued articulation. It's been a while since I've used it, so that would be a good one to look up. Sounds different in Kiwi. Yes, it does. You definitely have a different vowel system, and that's going to play about a little bit with schwa. Definitely.
That's it.
All right. We have gone over a bit. I think it may be time, unless we have more burning questions, I think it might be time to go. Now, people keep saying numbers. Jamie, you keep saying numbers. We just did 4. That's the one we're going to do today. Does that make sense? I hope that quells your thirst for numbers. Remember, everyone, we're coming back on Friday. So we're not here tomorrow. We're coming back on Friday. Friday's a big day. We'll have a special guest on Friday. All right. Let's be the Lynn lesson. I like that. Guess what? It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time to unmute microphones and say goodbye. It's been amazing seeing you, and hope to see you again soon.
Bye.
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 Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye. See you next time.
Thanks, Lynn.
Thank you.
Bye, Lynn. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye. All right, I'm out of here. See you.